Like, I wasn't purposely not eating, but even my favorite foods, I just made me nauseous and want to puke. And I ended up in the ICU, like literally taking ambulances to the emergency room. I don't remember much, but I was told that I was biting and hitting the people trying to help me because I don't like needles. And I woke up in the ICU, and this happened 3 times. And I told her the story. And with tears rolling down her face, she said, "Do you want to die?" And there's no judging from her. And so for hearing that, I was like, no, I don't. And she just let me kind of sit with that. Like, you are killing yourself.
Maria Emmerich is a nutritionist, wellness expert, and best-selling author known for her work in ketogenic and low-carb diets. After overcoming her own health struggles with PCOS and depression, she dedicated her career to helping others achieve wellness through dietary change. She's written over 20 books, including the 30-Day Ketogenic Cleanse, which I have, and Keto, the Complete Guide to Success on the Ketogenic Diet. Maria works with clients worldwide, addressing issues like weight loss, autoimmune conditions, and hormone balance. Now, I first met Maria at Meatstock 2025, and she's just a joy to have around. So I'm just super happy to have her on Meat Matters today. Maria, thank you so much for joining me.
I told Craig, I was like, there's this girl named Jenny. I just love her so much. We have so much in common. She has a cabin in Wisconsin. We're talking about Eagle River. And it was funny because Craig was in Eagle River when we met. So we were talking about that. That's, I think, how it started. But just, the stuff we like to do, skincare. And I was just like, oh, I love this girl. Like, we were boy moms. We had, young boys. And so it was just a lot. I just adore you.
Oh, I adore you too. Yeah. Obviously, I feel like most people in this space own at least one of your books. I have 2 of them, and I'm like, man, I'm really excited to meet Maria at Meatstock. And I didn't know what to expect because you just don't know. But then I met you, I'm like, she's so real and cool. And that made me so happy because I was scared. Sometimes when you meet people that you admire, they're horrible, and you're not. Here today, I wanted to talk to you about a video that you just did recently where you talked about how you were going on a weight gain journey, which is kind of opposite from what most people are trying to do, which is a weight loss journey. And I do want to kind of preempt for anybody listening out there that this may be a kind of a difficult conversation for some people to hear. So I just kind of want to give a quick trigger warning out there in the beginning. So what made you realize that you were getting too thin?
In my life, with work, with homeschooling kids and things like that, I don't have a ton of friends, like close friends, but I have one, and her name's Laura. And we like to walk in the mornings together, early in the morning. She loves early mornings like I do. Like, I'm knocking on her door at 6 a.m. And I told her the story about how this February I got really sick, and everything, like, I wasn't purposely not eating, but even my favorite foods, I just made me nauseous and want to puke. And I ended up in the ICU, like literally taking ambulances to the emergency room. I don't remember much, but I was told that I was biting and hitting the people trying to help me because I don't like needles. And I woke up in the ICU, and this happened 3 times. And I told her the story, and with tears rolling down her face, she said, "Do you want to die?" And it's interesting how Craig begged me to gain weight. My parents begged me to gain weight. But it was her and the way she said it. She's not on social media. She's a total hippie. Like, she would never wear dyed clothes. She's just, we go on these, she hiked the El Camino in flip-flops and a tiny little bag to put her olive oil in. Like, that's what she lived off of. Like, she's an amazing human. And there's no judging from her. And so for hearing that, I was like, no, I don't. And she just let me kind of sit with that. Like, you are killing yourself. And when I was at Meatstock, I thought I felt good. I mean, I would see pictures of me that people are posting. I'm like, I don't look like that. That's a skeleton, right? Because I felt strong. But let me tell you, girl, just by gaining from my lowest, I'm about 14 pounds up. Nobody saw me then. Like nobody would have ever wanted to see a video. I look terrible. I'm 14 pounds up and I am so strong now. Sorry about the wind. I'm so strong now. I can't believe like how much I can lift. I got back into weightlifting and I've heard that if you have a good base and you lifted 10 years ago, it comes back very quickly. And I was like, yeah, right, whatever. It's going to be a couple months. No, it was like, it's been like 4 weeks since I decided to change my mind. And I can lift the same what I was before.
Yeah, I've had that happen too. After when I had the boys and I really couldn't work out because twin pregnancy was horrible. When I went back to the gym, I had that good base of muscle. And it hurt the first like week or two. I was sore, but then I could lift just as heavy. It's so amazing how quickly it comes back.
It is amazing. So I'm very grateful for that base. I was actually featured in Muscle and Fitness magazine 10 years ago. The anniversary was, I like to look at my Facebook memories. So it was like 10 years ago last week or whatever. I posted it on my Instagram, the picture of it.
Yeah, I saw that post. You were like...
I was crushing it. It wasn't for my body shape. It was for my recipes. So, but I still was featured in the magazine for that, which I think was cool. So I just, like, I want to get back to that. I don't think anybody when they gain weight wants to get obese, and I'm not interested in that, but I'm not going to get obese from what I'm eating. But I do want to keep going, and some days are easier than others. So, if you got a comment, please be kind. That's all I ask.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the comments that you get because they're wild. I am happy to announce that my new book, Complete Carnivore, is now available for pre-order. Complete Carnivore is an in-depth guide to the carnivore diet along with 80 plus carnivore recipes. And they're not just like cooking meat recipes. There's recipes for carnivores at any stage of their journey, and it definitely helps you mix it up a little bit if you're getting bored on the carnivore diet. When I was writing this book, I was really aiming to make this like the encyclopedia of the carnivore diet, and I am super excited for you to read it. Pre-sales are a huge deal for any first-time author, so if you'd like to show your support for me in any way, please consider pre-ordering this book. I will put the links in the show notes. Amazon and Barnes & Noble both have really good pre-order deals, where you will get the lowest price the book ever was from the time that you pre-order it to the time it's released. So let's say, for example, Amazon has a flash sale on my book, and you've already pre-ordered it, but then it goes down in price to like $20. Well, on release day, you will pay that $20 lowest price because you had already pre-ordered the book. Also, the book typically ships on release day, so you get it right away. Let's get this book onto every bookstore shelf in America and share the healing power of the carnivore diet with the world. Pre-order links are in the show notes, and I thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. So you talked about how Craig, wanted you to gain weight. What did your boys think about how thin you were?
We kind of, they knew I was in the hospital, but we didn't really say why. And Craig said he would lay in bed at night just waiting for that to happen again. Because I kind of made that my new set point, right? As sick as I was, like, I was so sick Craig had to spoon feed me. I couldn't even move my arms. Like, everything was like, stop, not working. And as sick as that I was, I like got a high off that new low. Like, ooh, this is my new low, right? That's great. So we didn't really talk a lot to the boys about it until I decided to gain weight. And so I sat the boys down because Micah, my older one, is doing my YouTube videos now. And so obviously he's going to be watching what I'm saying. And I said, boys, you know how mom has lost a lot of weight throughout the years? And my son Kai's like, yes. Just like a blatant yes. And he's like, no, mom, this is what I do. And he goes in the fridge and he's like squirting heavy cream into his mouth. He's like, you just got to do that. And so, yeah, it was just, they're just innocent at heart and they just want me to be happy. I used to sing at weddings. A lot of people don't know this. I used to sing. I play guitar, piano, bass guitar, saxophone. Like, I used to be into music a lot. But it just kind of, work kind of took over. Kids took over, right? I don't even play anymore. But like, they're like, Mom, you're always singing now. And I'm like, I know. But I feel so happy now. It's just like a whole new life has been given to me. I feel grateful.
That's awesome. That's great. You always know I'm in a good mood because I sing everything. So we have that in common too. So I know you've talked about just in other videos that I've watched of yours, that you endured some bullying as a kid, because of your weight. How much do you think that this bullying that you endured as a child kind of played into this desire to be so thin?
First of all, I was always told I was big boned. I remember being in like home ec class and you'd do like this to see how, like, I couldn't touch my fingers. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, you're just big boned. And I just never thought I would get down to such a low weight where I looked emaciated. I wasn't skinny. I was emaciated. And I never thought it would even be possible. I don't even know if I was really striving for that. I think it was because my whole life was out of control. And like my job is to help people get better, and I couldn't get Craig better. My husband was sick with so many things. And the boys, I mean, you're a boy mom. It's a lot. Like when they're 3, like, holy crap, it's a lot.
It's so exhausting.
And to put another level on that, like they never had a mom before. So having a mom, it was like I couldn't even go to the bathroom and they would scream bloody murder. Like they just needed a lot. So a lot of like, that was all out of my control, and you can control what you're putting in your body. And so I took that to the extreme, and I'm really good at knowing all the secrets with weight loss. So I would just use those tools to keep going. And then I would be like, oh no, you need to gain some. And then guess what? I'd use those tools to lose it again, because when, you know, you're not fueling yourself well, when you start to refeed, it's usually in the belly. And I'm like, ugh, why does it have to go to the belly, right? So then I usually give up. But like going back to when the boys were little, when they're in Ethiopia, they were starving. So when we brought them to the United States, my older one would get very excited about food and be happy when meal times came. He would sing. And my other one would scream bloody murder until he got more food. And I'm like, this little belly can't handle that much food. And he would eventually be sick, but he didn't realize that there would always be more food, always. So meal times become very, very stressful. And Craig traveled a lot with work in the beginning, so it was just me. So it was a lot. That was when I stopped having meals with my family, because I just needed to focus on this kid not screaming anymore, because it drove me nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very difficult. So this has kind of just been kind of a years long process then of getting.
Yeah, I mean, my whole life was learning to lose weight, to finally release all that weight and to have it go opposite. And that's what I do with people. And so to do the opposite, I felt kind of like a hypocrite, or I tell people not to eat like that. Why would I go and do that? I didn't want to be a hypocrite, but I also was super busy. Like I'm sitting outside because it's my new favorite place. This is where we play games usually in the afternoons. But you can ask my kids, I've never once sat down to a meal except for Christmas and Thanksgiving. I never sit down. I always stand up and eat. I'll stand up, do the dishes, stand up, do the laundry, take a bite here, run, do that. Like in order to accomplish everything I have in my life, that's how I had to do it. But I don't have to be that way anymore. I am writing one more book. I always say one more, but I know so much more about menopause, biohacking, like so many hormones, birth control, this and that. Like I just want to put it out into the universe. But I also know that I have a lot more time. I taught my kids how to cook. I don't have to be a short order cook. So I bring my breakfast right here, and I don't have anything to listen to. I just listen to these birds and really focus on that food. And I mean, whether you're a Christian or not, like just looking at that meal and being like, thank you for letting this meal nourish me and make me stronger and make me healthier. There was things shutting down in my body that I can't even go there yet, but it was pretty, my body was shutting down.
Yeah, completely. I think there's a lot of value in being present just in the here and now, getting outside into nature, doing some forest bathing, and just appreciating what you have. I think mentally, psychologically, there's a lot of value in that a lot of people don't really take seriously. It's a real thing. So what is the most difficult part? What was the most difficult part of this realization that you needed to gain weight?
I guess the hard part now is that my hunger has gone down so much. I have to really kind of force feed myself, and I don't like to eat when I'm not hungry. So that's probably the hardest part, but everything is better. Nothing is harder. Everything's better. My hair's better. I mean, my hair's shiny now. My skin looks better. It's more moist and full, and my energy's better. My moods are better. Everything is better. Everything is better. I enjoy food more. It was like I wasn't allowing myself to even enjoy the flavor before. And now it's like, wow, this tastes so much better. I was starving before. I would wake up in the middle of the night, so hungry, I would curl up in a ball face down just to make that hunger pain stop. And it's so nice to be able to sleep through the night and not wake up hungry. But I guess the hardest part is getting over that scale dopamine hit. So I still use the scale, but it's for data. And what I do is I'll step on the scale, take the number. Sometimes I write it down, and I have a full length mirror, and I usually take my shirt off because I still can see the bones right here. And I tell myself that number is still too low. Get over it. Right? So it's data.
I like that. I kind of see it. I weigh myself daily as well. I kind of see that as an exposure therapy. You know, you just have to get used to that if you want to live, have a full life, and be optimally metabolically healthy, you know?
It's only one piece of the puzzle, but I've worked with so many people that are afraid of the scale, and it's like, it's denial. It really is. You need data to know if the diet is working or not, you know, because I don't want you to waste a month of your life and know it's not working. So using it as data, it's not everything, obviously. I'm more, and like just my dopamine hit is how much I can lift now. Like, watch out. Like my clean and press is like no other now. I love it.
I love that. That's great. No, that's huge. And that's huge that it's really come back so quickly. You know, I think that's just kind of a testament to just how healthy you already had been, and you just had to nourish your body, and it's just like, I'm ready, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just, and that it's just going to keep getting stronger and stuff. So, and I don't want people to be so hard on me if it's happening slower than what they want. I don't really care. It's not about you. It's about me. So, it's still going in the right directions. I have definitely like big wins where it's like a pound up in a day, and then it'll go down a half pound, you know? So it's still in the right direction, but just like a weight loss journey, it's going to have fluctuations.
Like this.
Right. It was a really busy day yesterday, and I know that's just an excuse, but I'll get there. And already I see benefits in so many things. I'll never go back to that. I'll never put Craig through that again, and my kids through that again.
I was going to ask, how does Craig feel about your weight gain journey and all of this?
He too is singing all the time. He is just hugging me all the time. He's just like, so proud of you. And he knows like, I'm like, oh, the stupid belly weight. I hate this. I feel like there's a baby in there. And he's just like, you know, rubbing it. And so he fell in love with me when I was, you know, quite heavy, and he didn't care. He loved every second. It was interesting. On Friday, we met 28 years ago, I think.
Wow.
And I was looking back at these pictures because he always was into photography, but it wasn't digital, right? But he would take these pictures of my face so close up, and I'm not even paying attention to him, but you could just see the love through the camera, you know? And I feel that again. I think he wasn't mad at me, but he was upset with me for not taking what happened more seriously. And I asked him, I said, would you do a little video? And I can put that in, because I'll do an update every Sunday. It's more for me, not everybody else, but people are liking it to see what I do in a day and stuff. And I asked him, I said, would you do like a little video and let people know how you felt about that time when I was in the hospital? He's like, never. He's like, I can't even talk about it now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure that was very scary for him. You're the love of his life. You're the mother of his children. Like when you're that close to death, I can see where a little bit of anger would come in too. I mean, that's really, really scary.
Well, because I wasn't even mentally there.
Sure.
They basically had to knock me out because I was so aggressive, which I'm not an aggressive person. I feel so
No.
bad. I was like, I need to buy these people lunch. I'll even buy them pizza. I don't even care. I feel so bad. But I didn't see it. So he saw me do all this stuff and it's not even in my brain. I think it was a lot of trauma.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, I'm glad that you made it through. I mean, I think everybody's been through something difficult in their life, but when you see someone you love so much and that you care about kind of destroying their health and you don't know what to do to help them, it can be scary. So that's good. I'm very, very glad that he is, so supportive of you. Not that I would be surprised.
No.
You guys are perfect for each other.
He's like, just get rid of all your clothes and we'll go to Paris and buy all new stuff. And I would never, I'm not like that, but I did, I ordered a bigger size jeans, because I loved the jeans that I have, but it can be a different size, but they were like low. I know like everybody likes a high rise now. I love the low rise. I'm so short, right? And I found the same pair, in a bigger size. I was like, I'm ordering them. Let's go. They were used. I don't care. I mean,
Yeah, no. When you find something that you love, I do that too. I'll buy like 5 of them in different colors, or even just
so much kindred spirits. My God,
dude, I hate shopping for clothing.
Me too.
Because it doesn't regardless of my size, women's sizes are different with every single brand. And I just don't have the mental bandwidth to go and try on clothes all the time. So if I find something, I'm like, I'm done.
I know. I do a lot of online stuff and they, free shipping, free returns. But yeah, I'm over that mental block where I can't fit into this anymore. Like, I just didn't even look good. I see pictures at Meat Stock and I was like, dude, you didn't even look good. But that was me. People are like, I thought your life was perfect. I'm so glad you're open about this. I was like, nobody's life is perfect. I don't care who you are. And I don't even try to just post the perfect parts. I was at the point where I wasn't even posting anything about me. It was always maybe Kai eating something or a testimony. Like now I'm like, here's me, here are my videos. I have so much more energy. Like I don't mind putting the camera on because I'm cooking all the time. And so why not inspire others to do that? And some people are very critical, like, stop walking with a weighted vest. I was like, dude, it was like raining for 7 days. I'm not doing this every day.
Yeah.
But
no.
Women don't support women because if it was a man, like Thomas DeLauer does all that crap all the time. And he talks about how he's getting shredded for summer and doing protein sparing modified fasting and nobody rips him a new one, but women don't support women.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's really brave of you to be, going through this journey publicly. I mean, you are a public, person. It just kind of the natural consequence of putting yourself out there on social media and writing so many books and being such a beloved, person in the space. You really are. So I appreciate that because people do need to see that you are also a regular human being and you go through some struggles of your own and you're not perfect. You get a lot of hate comments, like so many mean comments leading up to this, this weight gain journey. How do you deal with that, with the people that don't show some kindness?
It was really rough in the end. And I wasn't even doing my social media. It was like a post and ghost type thing. And I would have someone else take care of it. And she would delete the really bad ones. So the ones you saw, like there were some, but they weren't even about me sometimes. It was about my children being Black. And it's like, what?
Wow.
And they would go on and on and on about just, people don't think racism exists. And I'm here to tell you that it does.
It 100% does, yes.
Yeah. And just, mean stuff like, what's wrong with your husband? And just like nasty stuff. And I just realized what trolls are out there behind their computer. I'm so glad I'm not a teenager in this day and age. My boys don't have social media and I try to explain to them what people try to do to me, and I'm not going to let them get me down, but I fear for you when you are ready for it. Like they're 15 and 16. My youngest doesn't even have a phone yet. I know it's like unheard of, but he just doesn't want one, not interested.
That's great.
And he doesn't need it. I mean, we homeschool, right? We're always with them. My oldest one was in high school football, and we needed to know like when to pick him up and stuff. That's kind of where that came from. But I hope that they never want to get on social media, because it didn't bring me joy. It just was like a life suck. I'm getting a little bit of joy now because I do look at the nice comments. But even now, there's some mean ones saying like, you're a narcissist. I'm like, what? No, I am so empathetic. I lay awake thinking about the people that I'm working with and their struggles. Like I'm not, I don't think a person that is a narcissist would adopt children. I don't know.
I agree. I think that just comes from a profound misunderstanding of what the word narcissist actually means. I think you're sharing a very honest, raw journey with the people that support you. So I don't think that's narcissistic.
You mentioned the mean comments. I'm not doing it for those people.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not. I'm actually doing the videos for me and treating it kind of like my diary and my accountability. Because if I wasn't doing this so publicly, I could quickly go back to my old ways. But I can't do that now. I can't, because everybody's watching. And I have to, I'm an overachiever. I have to succeed at this. And I'm getting so many women reaching out to me. Men haven't yet, but that they're in the same situation. And they're like, you're making it okay to eat.
Awesome. That's awesome. And that's exactly why I'm so happy that you're sharing it, because there's so many people out there that have a similar journey that they need to go on.
And it's so sad that there's such dogma and pressure to be a certain size and look a certain way.
Especially as a woman. I mean, it's so hard. So hard. I feel like, because we're around the same age. So like, I feel like we grew up in a period of time where there was like the whole heroin chic, really, really thin. And that
was me.
Yeah. Like that was kind of like what we were expected to look like. And back in our day, I mean, there was no such thing as fat shaming. People just made fun of you. There was no anything. It was just the way it was. And that's just kind of now what I think is normal, because I grew up that way. But the generations nowadays, I feel like they're a little bit more, I guess, understanding and not so obsessed with being razor thin.
No, I mean, I'll see girls in belly shirts and I'll be like, oh, I would have never been brave enough to do that. But like my niece, she's got curves. She's like, I love having curves, and
that's awesome.
I was like, you go, like, you look great. Do it.
Oh,
right.
I'm relatively thin now and I still would not wear a belly shirt. Like I've never worn a belly shirt in my entire life. And I was pretty thin in high school. I was like a punk rocker though. I wore like t-shirts and jeans and, I wasn't into that, but I
wore like baggy stuff then.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me baggy stuff all day, every day for the rest of my life. So
please do not bring back the tight roll jeans. Please do not.
Oh God, no. Only if I'm going for like a 50s pinup look or something like that will I do those.
I think an air fryer is a required kitchen tool for anybody following a carnivore diet or a low carb way of eating. The air fryer that I have in my kitchen is the Tasty. Tasty air fryer is a game changer. Not only does it go much higher in temperature than any other air fryer on the market, going up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, but it also has a built-in temperature probe so you can get your meat cooked to the exact temperature you want every single time. Its sleek design is beautiful on your countertop, and it's also really easy to clean. Tasty just upgraded their basket to have a ceramic coating that is, as always, BPA and PFOA free, so you can rest easy knowing that you're not putting tons of toxic chemicals into your food when you are cooking it. Right now you can save $30 on your new Tasty air fryer by heading over to tasty.net/Jenny Mitich and using code Jenny30 at checkout. Link and code is in the show notes.
So now that you've shifted or are currently shifting your mindset to weight gain, what have your strategies been to accomplish this goal? What have you been doing?
What have I been doing? Well, it's not just about weight gain. It's kind of like a whole life gain journey, if that makes sense. I'm just starting to live again and enjoy life again and never deprive myself again. Here's the thing, like, I have no interest in eating gelato. Even I'm speaking in Rome. I have no interest in eating gelato or pasta or pizza, but I'm certainly not going to deny myself more meat when I'm hungry. I'm certainly not going to deny myself some fruit if I want. Like, I'm not going to just deny myself stuff that I love anymore. My game plan is just to make sure that I'm nourishing my body every single day and not go. I know what deprivation is. I know right how to go back to it, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that I'm feeding myself well. It is hard because like intermittent fasting comes real easy now because like I'm not hungry, but I make sure to have, like, I'm kind of documenting my meals too on those YouTube videos. And again, it's not for anybody else but myself. It's about accountability. However, those comments, like when I do have a down day, like I go there and I'm like, you got to keep going. Look at these people. Like, I can't believe how many people reach out to me. Like, Dr. Lisa Wiedemann texted me. I was like, who's texting me? And she's like, oh, I thought you knew who this was. And it was her. She's so sweet. Coach Bronson texted me, like all these people that had so much kindness. Like even Dr. Gabrielle Lyon texted me. I was like, what? You know, I didn't even think I was on her radar anymore, but it was really nice to have so much love and support, and that's why I'll keep going, you know. And I love getting stronger. Like, I'm not going to stop. Watch out. I mean, yeah, I'm excited.
What are you doing for exercise? How has your exercise shifted?
Oh my gosh. So when I started my like weight loss, I started running because I was like, of course, like to lose weight, you gotta cardio, run. So I was running marathons, and I would run so much. I'd do 10 miles twice a day. Before work, after work. So I was doing, 20 miles a day to work up to a marathon. And now, ever since I broke my nose, that's why I kind of look different than what I used to. Biggest regret of my life. But I couldn't exercise for 8 weeks after that. And I just stopped. I think my body was like, you can't anymore. But I used to always lift weights also, like I said, but cardio was if I could only do one, it was always cardio. Now I do no cardio, zero. And I'm not saying I'll never get into sprinting. I think sprinting is the way to go, but my body is not there yet. I don't want to burn that many calories, but I do strength train. And here's the thing, I travel quite a bit. I'm speaking in Egypt, South Africa, Montreal, Tampa, Orlando, like I'll be in New York. So I'm speaking a lot, but when I'm home, I usually switch off. So I'll do upper body, lower body, switching off every day. And then I have a red light, whole red light panel thing that I'll stand in front of. I finally got the clearance to do sauna. Craig, actually, we have a sauna right out here. And Craig totally like unplugged it. I couldn't even find it. Like he took the fuse out. And I finally got the clearance to do it again because my electrolytes, I couldn't even balance them. I had nothing to, I love creatine for so many benefits, but it was causing such electrolyte imbalances because it was taking the electrolytes into the muscle, and then my cells didn't have enough. And I ended up in the emergency room again. But, so a sauna was something he wouldn't let me do. But I can do that. But yeah, I do upper body, switching off lower body. I love lower body. I was always called thunder thighs as a kid. And so I love squats and lunges. It's like my favorite. So I'll do that. And then sometimes I go for a walk after breakfast. Sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends on how much work I have to accomplish that day. But I don't think that's over exercising whatsoever.
Yeah, no. I mean, as long as you feel good and you're accomplishing your goals, I think your body is already used to a pretty high amount of movement. It probably would be too much if somebody had been sedentary and then jumped into all that.
But I don't sit down ever. Like I really don't. I'm always, like I told you, I even eat standing up. Like I'm a mover and a shaker. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many books do you guys have? 22, 23?
22, yeah.
That's a lot. I wrote one and it almost killed me.
Yeah, it's like once the ball is rolling, and I have so many, like I will wake up, like today I was up at 2 a.m. because I had all these ideas and I was like, sure, I should just write them down, but sleep is over now, you know?
Yeah.
So
No.
that's another thing too. I used to sleep so much. I think I stored up like a year full of sleep because I would sleep sometimes 12 hours.
Wow.
I was just
That's
so
wild.
exhausted.
I would kill for 8.
Oh yeah, you got those little ones.
Well, they're 3.5, so like they mostly sleep through the night, but Max wakes up at like 3 or 4. He woke up at 3 yesterday. I couldn't get back to sleep because my brain, I'm like you, it just turns on. I'm like, all right, I got all the stuff I got to do. Today, 4 a.m. And I just got up. I saw the sunrise, so it ended up being beneficial. And I did everything I needed to do, got a lot of work done. But I want my sleep.
I know, I do love my sleep, but I just feel like I had all this, like, I can tell everything's going in the right direction because my energy's better, my focus is better, my moods are better. So until like something dips, I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. And like, I don't limit dairy at all. That's kind of like my go-to fat. And I do quite a bit of that, but I also have a big base of protein. Like my first meal, I did the math and it was 80 grams of protein on my first meal. I mean, there's definitely going to be some fat gain, but I definitely want muscle gain too, you know?
Yeah. And you're giving your body all the building blocks it needs to rebuild itself. So at this point, you know, you can do those really heavy protein meals and more than tolerate it.
Well, here's the thing about protein. People think, oh, you can only absorb 30 grams at a meal.
Right.
No, that study was done with whey protein. And to put that into context, it's like, okay, you have 1 minute to learn about this topic. And ChatGPT can throw out 1 billion words at you, but you can only read so fast. And that's what whey protein is. It's so quickly into your bloodstream. And yeah, sometimes I'll do that. But I would prefer to do whole foods. I don't love the way whey makes me feel. But like I will do cottage cheese, which has casein along with the steak. So it's like a longer tail of protein. So yeah, I usually do that at closer to bedtime. I'm not eating right before bed because it tends to keep me awake at night. So I know that's a great way to gain weight is eat before bed, but it's about 2 hours away from bedtime.
Yeah. I know if I eat any time close to bed, I'm gaining immediately. Immediately. Very frustrating. You know, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your personal journey because I know it's difficult for you, but I know it's going to be helpful for so many people. And I just want you to keep up the good work and know that we are all rooting for you.
Thank you. And I do want people to I want men and women to know it's okay to not always be hungry. It's okay to feel full. It's okay to want to have energy back. It's okay to want your hair to look great. And, you know, I was microneedling my hair because I was like, I always got in high school, the yearbook, I got best hair, right? And I was like, oh man, I'm losing my hair. And so I would microneedle it and do like GHKCU in there to help it to stop losing. And it's just like my hair's better. Everything's better. Like, why would I want to stop? And I want people to know, like, if you're in that boat, like, I'm here for you. I'll listen to till my ear comes off, you know, because that also helps me keep going.
That's great. Do you think once you've, fully healed, gotten to where you want to be, do you think maybe you would do like a video of like a protocol for people if this is something they would want to do? Yeah,
maybe. But also like, what works for me is not going to work for everybody.
Yeah.
Because I can easily gain. I'm like 5 feet, you know, I'm tiny. So, you know, also like if I show people like, yeah, eat a couple sticks of butter a day and you'll gain. There's a lot of people saying eat sticks of butter and you're going to lose.
Oh man, that's so funny you say that because that's literally my next question. I want to pick your brain about a few other things that aren't related to your weight gain journey. Just since I have you here, I have to. Why do you think that you guys get so much flack for discussing lower fat carnivore?
Because people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear, oh, just eat all the fatty meat and it will work. Well, guess what? we get people every single day saying, I was told I was healing, but I gained 50 pounds in 4 weeks, which is dangerous. And most of the time they already had type 2 diabetes, and that's just making it worse. So when you stuff those fat cells even more, even with fat, like the whole insulin model is not true. It doesn't work. This is why like bodybuilders, they eat a ton of carbs and they drop weight fast, right? So that whole insulin model doesn't work. But these people are coming to us left and right saying, you know, I did the beef, bacon, butter, eggs thing, whatever, and I gained a bunch of weight. I thought I was going to lose. And we put them on a protocol and it works every time, every single time. But I also focus on other aspects, their sleep. Are they postmenopausal? You know, suggesting HRT or some natural supplements for that. Because when you don't have estrogen, you become more insulin resistant. You're more sensitive to caffeine, you're more sensitive to alcohol and carbohydrates and too much fat.
Yeah, when I had Craig was on the podcast a few weeks ago, we were discussing lipotoxicity. And, you know, my husband experienced that. We were so confused because not all the advice in the community, but a lot of the advice in the community is just add more fat, add more fat.
Doesn't say.
I know of a few that don't. So like Linda Salant has always talked about higher protein for lipedema. I've never really been super high fat. For me, I mean, I just do a normal, but I can't go very high fat. I gain weight quickly. But it was just kind of the advice. And he wasn't like adding butter to steaks or anything like that. He was only eating 1 meal a day, but he was eating ribeye. And we just had no idea. And his blood pressure was going up. His triglycerides were high, fasting insulin high, fasting glucose high. Everything was bad. Let's put it that way. And I had lost almost 50 pounds. He had lost nothing. And typically it's the men that lose weight quicker, right? So we were just like, what the heck is going on? And the only thing that worked for him was very long water fasts. He had to do 10 to 14 day water fasts paired with just a carnivore diet. He did not eat carbs ever. I was the one that was feeding him. So people, they're like, oh, he's eating carbs. No, he wasn't. And then he had to do some exercise. And that's how we were able to get him down 50 pounds. And then I spoke at the Collaborative Science Conference and Dr. Nadir Ali came up to me afterwards and was like, hey, I think your husband has lipotoxicity. And that's when it clicked because I had watched his videos before and I was like, okay, that's a thing. But it just hadn't clicked that it was what was going on with Goran. And when it did, we were like, oh shit, you know, okay, I get it now. And then we just lowered his fat a little tiny bit. It's not like no fat. It's just a little bit less, just like one leaner meal per day. Yep. Instead of a ribeye, we did a sirloin or a filet. And that really got it down. Now we've gotten him down to under 4 pounds of visceral fat. His fasting insulin is like a 4. His glucose is between 80 and 95. HSCRP for the first time was below a 1. It was amazing. And that's all we had to do. But I just think it's funny that you guys really get a lot of heat for talking about you're not talking about a no fat carnivore, just slightly lower fat carnivore diet. And you can really move the needle.
I do think that, I mean, I'm going to look at all the numbers, but people with these really high triglycerides and cholesterol, that's a danger zone, you know? People are like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's like,
high triglycerides are a big deal.
What'd you say?
They're a really big deal. I said high triglycerides are a big deal. That's extra fat and that's floating around in your bloodstream. That needs to be below 100.
That's what happens when you eat sticks of butter and you aren't active and you don't have a lot. Your fat cells are full. It only has 2 places to go, right? And people think, oh, I think we get flack because people just want to hear, as long as I eat carnivore, I don't have to track anything. And if you are not tracking, you're setting yourself up for failure. And if you're like, I see people on Instagram, these influencers just drinking the heavy cream, but their goal is to lose weight. I'm like, oh, geez. Like, in what world does this make sense? In what world does this make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I feel on the fat fasting a little bit. I've done some fat fasting and that was okay, but my triglycerides are 40 to 60. I am metabolically healthy.
I want to talk about fat fasting. Okay? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So it is effective in losing weight, but guess what? You are going to lose about 50% of muscle when you do that. So with any weight loss diet, you're going to lose some percentage of muscle. The lowest you can do is about, with a protein sparing modified fast, is going to be about 2%. And that's not coming from me. That's talking from Dr. Don Layman, who's like the protein expert. Okay. He's the one that trained Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. So when you do a fat fast, let me tell you in this context, your heart tissue is always turning over. And people love like water fasting because it speeds up autophagy. Well, that means your heart is just breaking down faster. That means that your liver is breaking down faster and your skin is always turning over. What is that made up of? Amino acids. And if you're only eating fat or you're only drinking water in a water fast, it is going to break down your muscle so you can get amino acids from somewhere, and that muscle is expensive. So why use it if it's wasted? So it can repair the heart tissue so you don't die. So muscle weighs quite a bit, a lot more when you look at it. So when you step on the scale and you see a number go down, you just made yourself more insulin resistant because you lost muscle mass.
Yeah, I think, I'm not going to argue with the science. That's definitely there. What do you think of body composition scales?
So a bioelectrical impedance is going to be you could use it as data, but you want to use it at the same time of the day, because if I would chug this and jump on there, I'm going to be 24% body fat. If I'm doing like a dry fast and jump on there, I'm going to be 4% body fat. So maybe if you wake up and before you drink anything, brush your teeth, you step on that and just use it as data to see if your body comp is getting better or worse. Maybe you could use that, but it is going to fluctuate a lot during the day because people send us stuff all the time. And so we're like, hey, let's play with this thing. My son Micah steps on there. It says he's 4% body fat. He is ripped, but he's not 4%. And then Kai just drank a bunch of water and said he was like 30% body fat. He's not.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the body composition scales. They're just too wildly inaccurate. And the visceral fat reading you get from it, it's not remotely accurate. I don't care what you're looking at, an in-body or one of the home scales, it's never accurate. What do you think of DEXA?
Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. You obviously have to go to a hospital to get such, I think it's really important to know your bone mass too, because you want to know if those are deteriorating, especially women who don't have estrogen, your bones are going to deteriorate. That's why I'm a big fan of HRT. Underwater weighing is the best. I live by a university, so that's what I did. And I live by the university I went to, and we would do underwater weighing. And sometimes people in the community wanted to do it, and we would just practice on them, teaching them how to do the underwater weighing. That's the most accurate, but it's hard. If you're by a university, I'm sure you could get it done there.
Yeah, nice. You talked about your red light. Did I see in a video that you have a Juve? Yeah, I love that. I have a Juve too. I have 2 panels. Do you have 4?
I have 4. 2 of them broke, so they're at the Juve hospital. Juve is fixing them for me, but it's still pricey. Like even just shipping it to them is like $150.
I know, but they're so good.
They are, because the nanowatts, like the milliwatts, people don't realize, and they're not, milliwatts is usually not advertised because people don't know a lot about it, but their milliwatts is 100, which is really great. Where, some other ones that I do have, because like they send it to me, they're only 50, which is still okay. And some people gave me flack, like, you're standing too close. It's like, honey, I know what I'm doing. I could stand right up next to it. It's not a bad thing. I can put my face on it and it's not going to hurt me.
Exactly. When I'm doing my thyroid, I get up like as close as I can and just get it on there.
You should.
Yeah. Yeah. I
have
love that.
Have you seen thyroid reversal?
For myself right now. So Hashimoto's, I am working on it. I have thyroid meds optimized.
Are you dairy free?
Am I what?
Are dairy free?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I have to be. I can do butter. I cannot do liquid dairy. I cannot do cheese. It messes me up hard. So
Have you ever
I was
given up?
actually going to I was going to ask you about an autoimmune protocol. Who Craig, when I was interviewing him, talked about an autoimmune protocol that you had in one of your books.
Yeah. The carnivore book is kind of the ultimate autoimmune protocol, but like carnivore level 1, you could get away with carnivore level 2, but that's no butter either. Because
I don't have to eat butter. It's not like a necessary item for me, you know?
Yeah, I would try like no butter, no ghee, none of that. And then also, are you doing any iodine? You should do iodine. Yeah.
So I go back and forth with iodine. Here's a question for you. You have thyroid practitioners in all different spaces saying it's good, it's bad. Hashimoto's, you shouldn't do too much. Hypothyroid, blah, you know, all these things. And anytime I've taken it, I haven't noticed a difference either way. So what are your thoughts?
How many drops are you doing?
I have a 5% Lugol's, and I think I've gone up to, I don't know, 4 or 5 a day.
That's not enough.
No, how much should I do?
There's one called accelerated iodine.
Okay.
And this one is super pure. Like I've talked to the owner, the purest form of iodine. Because that's the thing, like if there's any toxins in it, you are going to be more susceptible to have a bad response to it. So you want super pure. And accelerated iodine is super pure. And you have to work up to this, but I would do 20 drops 3 times a day.
Gosh, that's a lot.
I know, but you have to work up to it slowly, especially if you're on a flight, because you fly places.
I do.
You know, the radiation and things like that. Those are the days you'd want to do, specifically a high dose. But I would definitely switch. I mean, I don't know Lugol's efficacy rating, but that accelerated is totally pure, and that's why I would give that protocol, because I know that it is safe because it's so totally pure.
What are your thoughts on like healing the gut in order to fix autoimmune stuff? So like bone broths, collagen, colostrum, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those are great, but I also work on like L-glutamine as a supplement that is known to heal the gut lining. And I do usually recommend like 3 grams on an empty stomach 3 times a day. If anybody had cancer in their background, I would say no to that, just because studies show that too much, protein, amino acids wouldn't be good for someone in a cancer diagnosis. Also like aloe vera, just like you put that on a cut, it's going to heal that gut. And you can get aloe vera capsules. You don't have to drink that mucus. It's disgusting. BPC 157 is a peptide. You can do that orally. It is more advantageous to do an injection.
Right.
If you're comfortable with that. I love peptides.
Injections are fine. Yeah, that's
Do you
all
have leaky gut?
I think so. Because like my thyroid meds are dialed in. My blood work is beautiful, and I'm still so tired. So the next thing I was going to work on was adrenals and gut.
Have you had your hormones like testosterone tested?
Mm-hmm. Testosterone is low. I'm already doing a bioidentical replacement there.
How's your SHGB, your sex binding hormone?
That's a good question. I'd have to look. I know my progesterone was a little bit low, so I'm doing a bioidentical cream, days 14 to 28 of the cycle.
I would do a capsule at bedtime.
I can't do a capsule. It made me feel like a crazy person. So the lowest they had was 100, and I tried for like 5 days. And you met me. I'm not emotional. I'm very like, I was like a psycho. I'm like, I can't do this. And I'm never like that. So I just couldn't do it. So right now what we're doing is a 25 milligram cream. And that's all I can tolerate. I worked my way up to 2 clicks. Now I'm at 50 and I was fine.
That's another thing people don't realize. You're putting a cream on, right?
Yes.
And how it's making your systemic progesterone and testosterone go up. People don't realize they go in hot tubs, they go in swimming pools, they put on makeup and lotions, and all of this stuff gets absorbed to the point where I was doing a presentation. This must have been 20 years ago. And a woman came up to me and she said, you know how you talked about what you put on your skin goes right into your bloodstream? She said, one day my little 4-year-old comes up to me acting like she's drunk. And I look and she has the whole bottle of like hand sanitizer all over her body. She was drunk.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I see teenagers that are like on the swim team with fatty liver. People just don't realize all of the chemicals we're bombarding our bodies with.
Yeah. Well, and you know, with Hashimoto's or any autoimmune issue, that's one of the things that I've really been focusing on. Like, I don't put stuff on my skin, fragrance free, everything. Really, really, really focusing on that. And yeah, especially with women, we have like hundreds of products that are supposed to make us beautiful and smell good and blah. And it's like all of these girls I see on TikTok, their skincare routine is like 50 items. I'm like, you're going to be messed up by the time you're 30.
Yeah.
Okay. So food-wise, for an autoimmune protocol, say for someone with Hashimoto's like me, we would do the carnivore diet. What else would you recommend? No dairy, no butter.
No butter, no caffeine.
I already don't do caffeine, so
That's good. That's good. No caffeine. And then different supplements would be a big protocol for that. It would be more personalized than just say X, Y, and Z, but I definitely would do the accelerated iodine and do a lot of it. People are afraid when they have Hashimoto's, and when exactly opposite, all the research shows that you need it more than I need it, right? So I don't think people give iodine enough credit, especially when we're not using the iodized salt that the United States has for us because it has dextrose in it, right? So you have to find another source, whether it be oysters or, a good liquid iodine that has no toxins, because if you do something that does have some toxins in it, it could make the Hashimoto's worse. But definitely dairy, people never want to give it up. They're like, you got to pry it from my cold dead hands. Butter, ghee, whey protein. Some people are like, are eggs dairy? I'm like, no, they keep it by the dairy section in the grocery store, but it's not dairy. Heavy cream, cottage cheese, yogurt, all of that. So finding a different fat source, like here's the thing too, like I love lean stuff. I love fish. I love tenderloin. I love scallops, seafood. I don't like chicken thighs. I like chicken breasts. So like, I don't know if it was something that I've just trained myself to like, but everything I love is lean. So for me, I'm adding fat to that, whether it be a dairy fat or non-dairy fat, non-dairy for any autoimmune. I'm just lucky I don't have that. But cutting out dairy was a huge piece of my weight loss success.
yeah, I can't do dairy. If I could, I would, because I love it, but it just makes me feel like complete garbage. Garbage.
It's known to stimulate that dopamine receptor in your brain. That's why it's so hard to stop it. Like my son Kai, he's so funny. He's like, Mom, I just love cheese curds. Do you know what cheese curds are?
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people around the world don't know what cheese curds are. I think they save it for the Wisconsinites. But he'll eat so many cheese curds, he'll be sick. And he's like, I just love cheese curds. And it is hard to stop. It's a dopamine hit. And that's why people don't want to give up the butter on top of their ribeye, because it tastes delicious.
Exactly. Well, yeah, cheese curds. We go to Eagle River all the time, like we talked about. They have tons of really good squeaky ones up there.
Yeah, they don't have to refrigerate them. And we're right on the border. I can see Minnesota from my house. We're right on the St. Croix River. And if you go across the border, they can't sell cheese curds outside of a refrigeration. But if in Wisconsin, you go to a gas station and they don't have to be refrigerated. And that's when they're super fresh, if they're not refrigerated.
I did not know that. I'll have to keep an eye out for cheese curds that I can't eat because my Hashimoto's is all jacked up.
I know.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, this has been an awesome conversation, Maria. I always end my conversations with carnivores with a rapid fire carnivore question session. Are you
ready.
down?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. Yes. All right. So what is your number one tip for a new carnivore? It's hard.
It is hard. I don't want to offend anybody either, but I would say like, be clear on what your goals are, because 99% of people, part of their goal is weight loss. It just is. And in that case, do not be fooled by eating sticks of butter and thinking that the weight is going to fly off, because it's not going to.
All right. Controversial, but true. What is your favorite carnivore food? I think I know the answer to this, but I want to hear what you say.
I eat it every single day, and I could probably eat it twice a day, but it's expensive. Filet and scallops with my carnivore steak sauce. Like those three, I posted a video on Instagram of me eating it with all the propaganda I won't fall for.
I saw that video. I loved it. I'm like, oh, she's eating her favorite meal. I knew
Did
that.
you notice I was like using a spoon to get more sauce in when I was eating?
Cracked me up. Yes, I did notice. Okay, so this next question, it doesn't have to be carnivore related things. It can be whatever. If you were stuck on a desert island, what 3 things would you bring?
My bow and arrow, for sure. Oh, I do bow hunt, so that's why that.
I have a bow too. I just have never been able to go hunting because I had babies and then it just but I still have one. I need to learn. I'll just have to come to you and we can go hunt together.
I just put up 2 more new stands. I have a lot of land here. So you don't want to go to the same stand all the time because the deer will get used to that. So I have a couple other ones that we put up and yeah, I'm super ready for that. Bow and arrow. What else? My red light and some hand weights. I'm just really addicted to this whole like getting stronger thing right now. And I do think
awesome.
red light has more power than people realize.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so what is the most common mistake that new carnivores make?
I lied. I'm going to bring some skincare with me too. I'm going to bring some tretinoin. Yep, there you go.
Every night you have to.
Every night. Yep.
I do. Okay, most common mistake that new carnivores make.
Thinking that if you're not losing weight, you should add more fat.
Okay.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. I've encountered a weight loss stall on carnivore. What would be your advice to get the scale moving again?
Cut out dairy, sleep at least 8 hours, 1 meal a day. It doesn't always have to be lean, but one of your meals is going to be switched to a leaner thing. So if you're doing a ribeye, we're going to do, like you said, a sirloin. Instead of chicken wings, we're going to do chicken breast. Like one meal of your day has to be leaner. And then, like I said, sleep. And then I also want to know, I'm going to do a blood test for your hormones.
Great. Knowing what you know now, what would you do differently if you were starting carnivore today?
I don't know. I was really successful with it. So I personally, didn't have any issues with it. Coffee a long time ago. I quit alcohol 24 years ago. Like, that's how old I am. But no, I did it pretty good. I felt like I had to do it right. And I couldn't add in mustard. I couldn't add in a pickle. I couldn't add in some watermelon. And you know what? It's not that big a deal. I think that we're so dogmatic about this carnivore space. I don't think everybody has to go carnivore, and I don't think everybody should. The thing is about success is something you can stick to. So if you can stick to it, that's great. But we do these weight loss challenges. Again, my whole life is about weight loss. And people could choose the option, whether it be ketovore meal plans, carnivore meal plans, right? The ketovore people lost more weight than the carnivore meal plans, even though the macros were the same. But I feel like we're cutting out so much stuff. And on my meal plans, obviously, are dairy free. People felt very limited, where the ketovore, there's some mustard, there's some things that don't have oxalates and anti-nutrients in there, but it adds a lot of flavor. And that's where I found my sweet spot, where I still enjoy food a lot, but I'm not, like, I'll never go to oxalates again. I had a kidney stone like 10 years ago. It was the worst thing in my life.
Yeah, I concur with you on the dogmatism that seems to exist in this space. I don't think some mustard or a slice of watermelon is what got people to where they are.
No.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It has to be sustainable. You have to be able to do a full dietary lifestyle shift. You cannot go back to a standard American diet. So how can you figure out a new way to eat that you can do for a lifetime?
Yep. I want people to be successful. So that's why the first question is, what is your why? And then I go with the protocol from there.
Love it. All right. Final question. If you were able to go back and give one piece of advice to 20-year-old Maria, what would that be?
That if you want to hear God laugh, tell him what you have planned. Because never have I ever thought my life would be like this. And I'm speaking out of, we talk about gratitude, or what is it called? Attitude G, or whatever, gratitude G. I am grateful I pinch myself to be in this situation where my job is to help people get healthy and be with my kids all day long. I don't have to drive to work. I can do the sauna. I can get up at whatever time I want and go to bed at whatever time I want. Like, I pinch myself. I can't believe, like, if you would have told me at 20 that my life would be like this. No, my life was awful then. Like, we were trying to adopt kids. Craig lost his job. The bank took our house. We sold our cars. I literally rode my bicycle to the library because I didn't even own a computer. We were so poor. That's how I started writing. Like, life was tough, but I'm so grateful for those times because look at, like, I still wear $10 tops. And even though I could buy the fanciest tops, I still live very simply. Sure, I'm going to spend money on food. That's my thing, but it's way cheaper than going to a restaurant anyway. But I learned what really made me happy, and it wasn't a new car. It wasn't a fancy purse. It wasn't keeping up with the Joneses, because you know what? I'm there. They have to keep up with me, but I am not competitive whatsoever because I don't want to be that person. So that.
I love that. I feel like people, I grew up pretty poor and never really had much of anything, really had to build it from scratch. And I feel like people that have to claw their way really do have just, I don't know if it's a better perspective, but maybe a more grounded perspective.
Yeah. At the same time, though, my kids are not spoiled by any means. However, they haven't seen struggle. When we fly to Hawaii, they're in Delta One. Like, I fear, like, when they grow up, they're not going to have what I've been giving them, right? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder about that too, because my kids probably aren't going to want for much, but how can I impart some kind of knowledge
Work
of
ethic?
like, well, that doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else. You know, how can I get them to earn it for themselves, you know?
They are very compassionate. Like, I remember we live in Hawaii in the wintertime, and I'm sitting on the lanai. It's called a lanai, or the deck, or whatever you want to call it. And it's over the beach, and I'm watching my son, Micah, help this elderly woman carrying all of her stuff to her car. And I was like, that's such a good kid, you know? Like, I didn't ask him to do that. He offered to do that.
But you modeled that behavior for him at some point in his life, because he learned it from you and Craig.
I hope so. I feel like that's why I didn't want people to be intimidated of me at Meat Stock, because I'm just a human. I ended up cooking for everybody. And it wasn't to prove that I'm just a regular human. I just love to cook, and they needed help. So I was there for it, right? I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. No, it was so great. Yeah, Meat Stock 2026. Are you coming to Meat Stock 2026?
Dr. Nadir and I are doing a presentation together about lipotoxicity.
Yes, I talked to Scott. He was like, oh yeah, I saw your interview and I'm going to have him come to Meat Stock and blah. I'm like, yes, please do.
I introduced them together. He's like,
Good.
do you know him? I was like, yeah, this is his phone number. We've been to his house. He is literally the nicest doctor. If you're looking for a cardiac surgeon, he's actually working in the trenches. A lot of these carnivore doctors are no longer working with people. So they're not seeing the labs get worse, where Nadir is, like, he's not on really social media a lot. He's at work, you know? So he is a
practicing.
Yeah. He's going to do the science. And then I have about a bazillion testimonies trying to run through that real quick.
Love that. That's going to be so good.
I'm excited.
I'm one of the hosts, so maybe I can get them to let me introduce you guys.
That would be great, because this last year I was supposed to be on stage and I was like, oh yeah, and me, because she didn't announce me. And she's like, who are you? I was like, well, it's okay. I don't expect everybody to know who I am, but I was like,
of course not. Of course. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit more organized this next year. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Well, Maria, this was amazing. Thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to me. I love you so much.
Thank you so much. You're awesome. Appreciate you.
you. And thanks to everybody out there for listening to Meat Matters with Jenny Mitich.
As a busy carnivore twin mom, I do not have time to go searching for ethically sourced meats all the time. I prefer to use ButcherBox. ButcherBox is a premium meat subscription service that's dedicated to delivering high-quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef, pastured beef, pork-raised crate-free, organic chicken, and wild-caught seafood straight to my front door. ButcherBox prioritizes ethical sourcing and sustainability with free shipping with every order. There's a few different ways you can order from ButcherBox. You can do a custom box where you pick out all the cuts that you want and they send them your way, or ButcherBox can curate you a box. Every box is a chance to try something new along with some tried and true classics. I don't know if you can hear my children screaming in the background. That's another reason why I like ButcherBox, because I can't bring these wild animals into the grocery store with me. Every week, ButcherBox has some amazing deals. So if you click on the link in the show notes, it'll bring you over to whatever their current deal is. Sometimes they have free ribeyes for the entire year. They've had free ground beef, free chicken. Around the holidays, I was able to get a free 13 to 15 pound turkey with my ButcherBox, and that turkey was delicious. Head to the link in the show notes to try ButcherBox out today.